So first of all, thank you for coming out this afternoon, everyone, and thank you to our special guests. I would like to introduce my panelists. First off, our General President, General Manager of Ihsan International Schools, both campuses, Mr. Baraa, Bakkar. He's from Syria and he lived in Saudi Arabia and UK for some time, and his father is a famous writer and mother is a philanthropist and Masters of Business Administration, and he's been here for 2 years in Turkey. And Mr. Abid Zargar, okay, I'm just checking my notes. It says here, charismatic, funny, humorous, down to earth. Oh, wait, sorry, that's me. Yes, he's coming from England. He's British. He has cool British accent, and his father is a consultant psychiatrist. Whoa! And I really don't want to read this part, but I guess I have to because he graduated from Cambridge University. We understand. You're smart. Okay. I actually told them not to invite him because he makes everyone here looks bad. We look bad. Okay. So he mastered in natural science and mathematics and chemical engineering. Oh my God. PGCE from University of London. He's very, very smart, obviously. And he's been here like 9 months in Turkey. Thank you for coming, sir. And our academic coordinator, Mr. Muharrem Koz, he's from Turkey. His bachelor degree in Beykent University English Language and Literature, and master's in Education Management, again in Beykent University, and PhD in Istanbul University European Union Studies. He worked in Beykent University and Istanbul University for 15 years. He worked in a research center for 2 years, and he's an author of a book, Creative Industries in Turkey, wow, and co-authored to 3 books. Thank you for being that smart again. And he's been in admin position for like 15 years. Thank you for that. Alright, I'm checking my other notes. It's someone called Miss Betül Esen, I guess. Is she here? Ah, she's here, sorry. She's from Turkey and she majored in psychology department from Altenbaş University and University of Padua in Italy. She's lived in Italy for a short time, and again, according to my notice series, by the way, she has no sense of humor. Okay. Alright, I mean, that's fine. She decided to be a psychologist because she failed to be a comedian. Well, she was told it takes sense of humor to be a comedian. Alright, that's weird. So she interned with the first person to bring neuropsychology to Turkey. Thank you for coming, lady. Alright, we understand. You're smart too. Okay. So Osama Esadi, my fellow student, is from Syria, lived in UAE. 2.5 years in Turkey, 17 years old, senior student in 12B2, running IC, Innovation and Creation Union, and they're working on a smart home currently. Welcome and thank you for coming. And Lina, she's from Tunis and she's an American fellow as well. She's 17 years old, senior student in 12G1. Parents, engineer, president of student council. Cheers. Head of architecture department of ICU. She started a small business at young age, which is very interesting. She's going to talk about it today, inshallah. And each year she went to a different high school. Okay, there is one more note. Unlike Miss Betül, she has sense of humor. Okay, that's good. Thank you for coming. So, alright, let's start the questions. And these questions for all the panelists. So what are the reasons and factors you decided to major in this very field? First off, I would like to start with Mr. Muharrem, then we'll go one by one with our panelists. At last, our students will answer the question. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this very nice introduction, Mr. Tyler. I am very pleased and comfortable to sit in front of these balloons. Thank you very much.
As we are.
Related to the factors to make the decision related to university and major selection, I would make a list of items to discuss here. But I think the first and most important point is your field of interest. The major or the profession or the occupation that you feel most comfortable. Whether an engineering position is something that you would like to spend the rest of your life, or it becomes a torture to you. Accordingly, you need to make your decision, because usually it is a critical time that when you make your decision related to your major, it usually, not always, but usually becomes your profession as well, or your occupation as well. First, make the decision related to that, which major I feel most comfortable with, which matches fully with my interests, then make your decisions. Then, of course, there are other factors, whether you would like to go to another country, to live in a different city, or to be in a government university or private university. There are a lot of factors, but the most important one for me is to choose a major that you have an interest in. Because from now on, the further step for you, for all grade 11 and 12 students, is higher education, which requires deep knowledge. That's all I can say.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Muharrem. Regarding my own personal choices that I made when it came to studying natural sciences, mathematics, engineering, I would just add on to what Mr. Muharrem is saying. I think the most important thing for me at your age, which is a kind of advice that I would like to give you, is find something that makes you tick. Something that gives you a passion. Something that you dream about. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, for me it was mathematics, and seeing patterns in nature and Fibonacci series and Pascal's triangles and shapes and sequences of traffic lights and connection to matrices and crazy things. And that led me to education, which is another one of my passions, is the joy of seeing somebody learn something. And that moment when a student turns around and says, I get this now, thanks to you. I didn't understand this before. And then the idea that as a teacher or as a mathematician, you can pass that passion on to someone else, I think is the most rewarding thing. And I can't imagine there is any other career in the world which is as self-rewarding as the career or the passion of teaching someone something which changes their life. So, become teachers.
I remember in 1995, I was in grade 11. I was in grade 11 in 1995. So one of the friends of my father called for a session very similar to this session. There were a test was prepared by him about career and something like that. So I did the test, and after the end of the session, he told me that you definitely not into medicine. You're more in engineering, management. You're probably more business oriented. So that happened in that way. So he said, we probably should try engineering or management. maybe engineering, then management, something like that. So that was the session. I do remember all the details of that session because that changed my life. And I still believe he helped me a lot in actually going. So he showed me the report, the results of the test. So he said, you someone maybe have some leadership skills, good communication skills, team leader, something like that. Maybe business. This is exactly what he said. So I said, fine. The next year I applied for business administration. So I studied business administration, bachelor degree from 1996 to 2000, and I started my master degree in business administration. So business administration I think, is a major that everyone should take. And I remember when I was doing my master degree, I graduated from my master degree around 20 years ago. In class we had ambassadors, doctors, engineers, everyone. Because business is about leadership, and I think this is very important for anyone. It's about communication skills, is about really turning ideas into plans. Even if you're planning to study engineering in your life, think about studying business. As a master, as a course, because it really change a lot in your personality, the way you deal with teams, with people, communities. So I do believe that this is a major that you should consider even if you're going for medicine. Because in the future you have two options. Either work as an employee or you have your own business. Can anyone be an entrepreneur and have his own business? The answer is definitely not. The answer is you might be a good employee, which is definitely fine, but if you have the ability to start something from scratch and really form a team and turn ideas into projects, then business will help you to have your own medical center, to have your own factory, to have your own, rather than work as head of project management in a factory. So I think this is a major that you don't have to go for universities in business administration unless you want to pursue that career. But it's something that you can take online from many of the courses. It could be a master degree, it could be a course, it could be books. After I graduated from my master, I read a book. I don't remember the name exactly, that says what you usually don't actually study in universities in business. And this book was actually around 400 pages, tells you everything about business. Everything I studied in 2 years was in one book. So it doesn't have to be an official or formal degree. It's something you definitely should take wherever you go, because it has a very good effect on yourself. But in these days, I would definitely recommend you and advise you to go and do some tests like that. I told you, this is a last note, but I worked in consulting, education consulting for a few years. And when I was doing some interviews, I used to have a test called Profile. It tells you, if someone, just an example, if your friend, if you are as a person, don't like to receive phone calls directly from people, you're not someone who can work in marketing. Because there are two types of people. People who can be in the back office, they usually like quiet environments where they want to focus. They work in coding, they work in innovation and something, research and consulting. But people who are in the front office, they like to speak to people, meet them on a daily basis. So you need to figure out, are you back office or front office type personality, then you can choose them. But definitely I would advise you to take more of these tests and really discover your abilities. Thank you.
you told us that comedy didn't work, so I stick with psychology. Psychology will...
Thank you for that. I mean, not being a comedian.
So the psychology will help you to understand human behavior and mental processes, and it will help you to understand how we act, feel, and think. And when I came to the stage that I have to decide, I have realized that there is nothing important for me, there is nothing more important to me than understanding myself and the people around me. And also there were two different cases happening to me at that moment. Two of my grandmothers, they had, one of them had stroke and had aphasia syndrome, and the other one had Alzheimer's disease. And at that kind of early ages, when you don't have, when you just see your loved ones in that kind of situation, you want to have power to change something. And I thought that psychology will provide me to that kind of a power, and it will help me to understand what's going around. And yeah, these are my motivations to help, to understand, and to become the best version of myself, because developments, it never stops.
So, for me, similar to Baraa, my mother told me that I wasn't gentle enough to be a doctor, so I didn't go into medicine. But then in grade 9, I started to make bracelets and sell them at school. And I didn't think anything of it, but I remember looking at the cost and the profit and things like that. And I went and I bought a string for 20 dinar. And then in the end, I actually made a good profit. And my French teacher actually told me that I was going to be a businesswoman one day. And then that kind of inspired me to go into business and things like that. So then after that, and then actually until this year, I was going to go into business administration. But after doing more research about it, because I can't just go into it without doing research, I did more research about it, and I find that it was it's kind of complementary. You have to have something as a foundation before that. So the major I decided on is still in the business field, economics maybe, management engineering, or management information systems. So thank you.
Okay, so movies actually is a passion for me. I do love to watch movies a lot, and but I didn't decide to become a film director, rather a computer scientist. And why is that? It's actually this concept of movies and taking you to a different reality and giving you an insight on how does this reality work. Okay? So for example, in 2017, when I first watched the Marvel movie Iron Man, it just blew my mind away. So it gave me this this idea of how can we actually enhance or improve our world with computer science. So after a lot of research, and I really went through computer science in depth, I understood what do they actually learn in universities. So I decided to pursue computer engineering and mathematics as a second degree in my university in the future. Thank
you. My second question, again to our fellow students, Lina and Osama particularly, what university do you want to major at and why? Why did you choose those universities that you want to major at? Thank you.
So I wanted to major in Ihsan University is my first choice, and then maybe is that how you say it? Yes. So those are my two main options, and why I chose them because they're public, and I feel like it's a challenge to get into them, and I wanted to take a challenge. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, so there are a couple of universities that I want to apply to. They're a bit challenging because they focus only on the standardized tests such as the SAT, but I'm going to apply to them anyways. such universities are like, most of them are public, like Istanbul Technical University, Middle East Technical University, the oldest technical university, and Betül. So, or like there may be another option, which is if I get a scholarship, like the merit scholarship from some private universities, based on like extracurriculars and maybe SATs, the motivational letter, I may go to Koç University. I'm going to apply to Koç University and the Betül University.
My third question is for Mr. Mara, our academic coordinator. As you know, this auditorium currently is full of juniors and seniors who are preparing for the universities, but some students, some fellows here are not sure what to major in the universities. So in your opinion, what should the criteria be when deciding what major is best for them? Thank you. Smart guy, please help him.
So the question is related to making the decision for the majors. Actually, in brief, I would say that to be able to make a decision, you need to know at least a certain level of details about the concept that you are expected to make the decision. Like, for example, okay, I would like to study at medical faculty, but what are the subjects, courses that you are supposed to take at medical faculty? What does a medical faculty graduate do? All these details matter to make the decision, final decision, in addition to my explanation for the first question, that whether you feel comfortable, you really would like to go further into detail of that field. So at this level, for grade 11 and 12 students, how can they make their decision concretely? First, here at this school, we offer a wide variety of courses. That means there is adequate number of teachers from different fields. Any of our grade 11 students not taking any business-related subject as electives, taking all science courses this year, but there is an experienced teacher here in this campus so that he can ask about business management, managerial economics, all departments in such faculties. The teacher of that subject, for example, Mr. Ahmed, or any science-related major, we have qualified teachers here. First step, I think you should start by talking to those teachers, get as many details as you can, then you can make your final decision by consulting to your parents as well, asking their opinions as well. But in the end, you are the ones that you are expected to make the decision. We have sources here, and it is very easy and very accessible to get these details by accessing universities, websites, even contacting faculties. This is much easier nowadays. So I hope it helps to be in contact with the teachers and the staff here at our school. And in addition to Mr. Baraa's explanations, it's just because Mr. Baraa, the study of business was created by engineers. That's why.
My next question should go to someone who studied in. You would like to speak to?
Yeah, I mean,
It's the major, huh? Yes.
yeah, just one question they should answer. You should ask yourself. If you don't like biology, then definitely not medicine. So I meet students and I say, what do you want to study? He said, medicine. Okay, do you like biology and chemistry? Not much. much. Medicine is nice. I hear a lot of good stories from people that being a doctor is something good. But in the future, when you try medicine, you will enjoy it. So if you like physics, then that's if you like statistics, that is an indication that you might be fit for engineering. Art, if you enjoy art, if you enjoy Photoshop, whether the digital or fine art, then that could be an indicator that you might fit for the art. Business, as one of the lines, if you don't like math, math is very much related to business. Especially as Mr. Abid said, or Mr. Hammond, business was created by engineers in the essence. So business is not just about leadership, it's about really engineering ideas. So, but if you don't like some of the math, if you didn't enjoy economics, of course you're not going to be. That could be an indicator that you might not fit that line. But I would definitely advise you all to take some tests online. It's free. I can give you some links. Mr. Muhammad can give you some links, because it might give you some more details with which lines that you can really enjoy more. It's all about passion. You cannot be in a major that you don't like. You'll never succeed.
One sentence to add. Here in Turkey, Turkish students are going through very challenging stages to enter a university, and for medical faculties, almost top students are accepted for medical faculties. Only top students can enter. I'm talking about Turkish students. And when we look at the number of students who changes their minds after they start their university education, medical faculties are with the lowest number of students who give up the school, leave the education. Because they are very decisive about it, they already made their decision. But other faculties, departments, you see many people after the first year or second year change their mind, change their major, enter the university entrance examination again, and go to a different faculty. These are the cases. But for medical faculty, you have to be 100% sure that you are interested in them and you can make it.
My next question probably is for someone who went to Cambridge University, as all of you. We have a lot of Cambridge graduates here. It's not only you, sir. So what were the factors when you were deciding which university, I mean Cambridge we're talking about here? Did you hear Cambridge University before? That's a university, you know, it's just a very random one, but you can study there. So what were your factors when you were deciding, or what influenced you to be a student in Cambridge University? Thank you.
I think, as a kid, 10 years old, my heroes were Isaac Newton, Ernest Rutherford, John Dalton, J.J. Thompson, Lord Kelvin. People maybe those are not the heroes of kids today. It's not Messi and Ronaldo, but those were my heroes. And the idea that I could be in the same laboratory that Ernest Rutherford did his gold leaf experiments in, or Isaac Newton, his room is across the road from the room I stayed in. That was something inspirational. But small victories. Aim high, but be happy with small things.
Thank you so much, Cambridge guy. The next question, probably, it may be the last question, if the time allows us. So it's for our fellow students again, for Lina and Osama. how are you preparing for yourselves for this university that you're applying to and this major? How are you preparing yourself? Because you decided, you made up your minds, but how are you preparing yourself for universities? Thank you.
Okay, so what I'm doing to prepare myself, I've been trying to research computer science a lot since 2019. So at first in 2019, I just wanted to learn anything related to technology. I didn't know a lot about technology back then. So I started with web development. I learned some basic things. I just was able to make a front page for a website. And then in 2020, I realized that I wanted to focus more into the back end of engineering and computer science and coding. So I started learning a bit about Python, and I went through a lot of different languages, but I haven't mastered any yet. And then in 2021, I had just this thing that, the final decision where I wanted to become an AI specialist and computer scientist from the using Python and data science. So I engaged in a lot of different kinds of webinars and activities, and last winter I created this small program, using an API, an algorithm called the High Cascade algorithm, to make this smart car system where it can detect humans and nearby cars and even animals. It was just simple, but it's actually something that I'm happy that I did. And it's a way to learn. And of course, I'm also engaging in some other activities in school. I'm running the Innovation Creation Club, which is helping me enhance my leadership skills and helping me discover more about invention and creations.
Just 1 minute, please. Okay? Thank you so much.
So for me, like I said, getting into the university by my choice is a challenge. So I wanted to kind of build a profile for myself. So of course I'm focused on my grades, getting high grades, but then more than that, I need to show that, I possess the skills of being a good student in business or in economics. So I try to go into some leadership roles, like being the president of student council and joining other clubs like the Innovation Club, and just things like that to show that not only am I high achieving when it comes to my grades, but also I possess the skills of a good student and a leader and not just other qualities. So that's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for my guests. Thank you, and thank you for attending and joining here.